Hello and welcome to Event 7 in the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled of course by Petron. My name is Aaron Thompson, we're coming to you now for race 26 of the season. But before then, a quick walk down the pit lane.
Hey guys, welcome back to race 26 at the 40 race 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship. We just saw a great race 25 a few minutes ago, or a few hours ago I mean, but this one's going to be better. Watch out.
Thank you very much, Peter. Now back to race control to watch the start of the race. And while they do that, let's have a quick run down the starting grid. We have Sneha Sharma in pole position by virtue of the reverse of the finishing positions from race 25. Mohammed Ibrahim up in second as well, so that's Team India at the front of the row. Frederico Peters in third with Luke Thompson and Yuma Soji rounding out the top five. Shihab Al-Habsi, Muiz Mushafa, Luca Allen, Elias Sapan and Josh Smith and Hadrian David make up your Formula 4 Southeast Asia race 26 grid. I can see that everybody's just about to get underway, so let's go quiet. And you can hear they're all the way now. They're all the way now, coming down into the first corner. Let's see what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure Sneha is defending as hard as she can, but she's got a lot of fast drivers behind her, and Mohammed Ibrahim is going to try and find a way past. Of course, you've got to remember Mohammed and Frederico behind him are both rookie drivers. Elias Sapanin usually atop the rookie standings in the weekend, but of course Hadrian David, another rookie driver who happens to be leading in Formula 4 France, is a rookie driver as well. So a lot of rookies, a lot of highly competitive rookies here this weekend. But we can't forget about some of the Malaysian drivers. Muiz Mushafa, of course, trying to make things happen this weekend for the home crowd. And Luke Allen, of course, is the man atop the standings at the moment. He's going to have a battle on his hand. He's going to try and keep Josh Smith behind him and Hadrian David as well. He's had a bit of a rough start to the weekend, has Luca. He didn't do so well in qualifying, and unfortunately things not going so well for him in race one either, not being able to find a way. Well, he found a way past Elias, but wasn't able to find a way to keep Elias behind him, and the Finn managed to get back up into third position and keep Luca behind him the whole race. And unfortunately, that was terrible news for Ireland, but I'm sure the Finnish fans were very happy, and it makes a more interesting championship, I have to say. And Hadrian David may be throwing a wrench into the works this weekend, because he may be in competition. Well, he's certainly in competition for the event championship. But let's have a look at the timing boards. We have Shihab Al-Habsi going fastest in the second sector, and we've got Hadrian David going fastest in the first sector on the opening lap. So that's an interesting switch in the standings from the last race. And here we go, Frederico Peters fastest in the third sector. So that's good there from the rookie driver joining us for the first time this weekend from Portugal. Hope to see more from him. Fantastic. Maybe he can stay up in third position and hopefully hold on to a podium. We've seen it happen before, but Luke Thompson behind him is a very experienced driver. He's got 2 years experience in these F4 cars. Had a bit of a break this summer, or the beginning of the year, we should say. Missed out about 6 events. 2 in Malaysia, 2 in Thailand, 2 in India, but he's back now. He's going to do another 2 with us in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll have to see what happens at the end of the year, because there's 2 more races in the Philippines as well. But let's have a look at the timing screens now, because I hear them coming across the start-finish straight. We've got Frederico Peters doing a 2:21.444, managing to find his way up into first position. Fantastic news for him. Brilliant driving, I'm sure. And Mohammed Ibrahim up into second as well. Very, very good start for him. Yuma Soji has found his way up into third position, while Muiz Mushafa managed to make things happen for Malaysia and keeps a fourth position. That's very good. Hadrian David rounding out the top 5. So fantastic there. Fantastic start from Hadrian to go from dead last into fifth. What's happened to everyone else though? Luke Allen in 6th position, Elias Sapanin in 7th position, Sneha Sharma, Luke Thompson, Josh Smith. I wonder what happened to Josh Smith that's rendered him to be back in 10th position with Shihab Al-Habsi. There must be some kind of crash on screen. Perhaps we'll get a replay of that later on as we come through turn 4 now, with a crowd coming across the Malaysian flag. Fantastic race so far, as it looks like that's Elias Sapanin in the red 58 running very wide on the exit of turn 4. It's unlucky there for the Finn, because he's already not quite where he wants to be. He's got to catch up to Luke Allen, and then he's got to push towards podium position. But at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, Frederico Peters in the orange number 7 car is the man at the front of the pack. Fantastic drive for him. Great to see him stepping up in only his second race, or actually it's his second race with us. It's only his second weekend in F4. He's done a weekend in Spanish F4 a couple of months back, but now he's down in Asia, so traveling the world the young gentleman is already. As we come around turn 9 now, with looks like Hadrian David leading us around with Luca Allen, and that would be Elias Sapanin just behind him. Sneha Sharma defending there with Looks like that's 58. That looks like Elias Lepanin. So Elias may have had a little bit of a turn. He may have had a little bit of a turn coming out of that section. Like we said, he was running wide coming out of turn 4 as we continue down now into turn 12 and 13. Beautiful section of the track. This looks like that yellow car, which would be Luke Thompson, has a problem with his front wing. The front left side of the main plane is hanging down, scraping across the floor as we come around turn 14 down the back straight with 19 minutes and 42 seconds left on the board. That can't be right because we've already done a lap. They must be at least into the 18-minute window as Mohammed Abraham now in the blue number 33 blocking Muiz Mushafa is just behind him. Muiz up into third position, obviously finding his way past the orange number 7 of Yuma Shoji, as looks like Luke Thompson defending here from Elias Lepanin in the red number 58. Luke's got less downforce because of that problem with his wing. He's going to struggle to keep Elias Lepanin behind him, but he's managing to do it so far as they come down the main straight though. Muiz Mushafa going side by side with Mohammed Abraham. He's going to take him very nicely. Elias Lepanin further up the screens trying to do the same thing with Luke Thompson. Luke pushing him out a little bit to the left-hand side. If we focus on this focus on this angle, you see the bottom of your screens and the bottom left of your screens now. Mohammed Ibrahim and Muiz Mushafa there, the battle over. But Luke Thompson, what did he manage to do? Did he manage to keep Elias behind him? Maybe not quite, because it looks like Elias got a good run through there, and we know that Luke Thompson has some damage to his front wing. Muiz Mushafa, though, ladies and gentlemen, the fastest man on track at the moment, doing a 2:15.358. Fantastic driving for him as Hadrian David follows Muiz past Mohammed Ibrahim coming into turn 4, and Luke Allen, the blue number 3 car, behind the blue number 33 car, trying to dive up the inside here at turn 5. This is going to be a fantastic overtaking maneuver if he makes it stick. Let's have a look. Yes, he does. Luke Allen tries, comes into the side of Mohammed Abraham. Oh, and that's Abraham out onto the grass. Thankfully, no one managed to collide with him. Will he manage to get the car going? He's in a very dangerous position at the moment. He's exactly where you don't want to be. If anything went wrong, one of these cars would go straight into him. I'm sure we've got yellow flags already. We may need to red flag if this car number 33 of Mohammed Ibrahim can't get going again, which would make things very interesting. Unfortunately, it'd be terrible news for Frederick Peters, who's already got a 3-second gap. Fred, if you're listening, you got to put your foot down. You got to try and widen the gap because they're coming for you, mate. And here we go. This is Elias Lepanin doing exactly that because he's going past Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson trying to take it back on the outside at turn 10. Can he make it happen? No, not quite. Doesn't have the downforce coming through that section. And I see on screen now the incident at turn 2 involving car number 30 and car number 34 is not going to be investigated any further, but we may have an investigation between what happened between Luke Allen and Mohammed Ibrahim at turn 5 on this lap. Coming through turn 12 now, though, you can see the damage to Luke's car is just getting worse and worse, and thankfully we've got a safety car now because this is going to help Luke Thompson quite a lot. It's going to give him a chance to try and recover his car, but the safety car is out, presumably because Mohammed Ibrahim still beached at the exit of turn 5 after the collision between himself and Luke Allen. Both blue cars, one a blue number 3, one a blue number 33. The blue number 3 belongs to Ireland's Luca Allen, and they seem to have a little bit of a collision coming through turn 5, just a little bit of touch. It's a very common overtaking maneuver, what Luca tried to do, but it's to the stewards to judge if anything was done wrongly. As we come across the start-finish straight, let's have a look at the leaderboards now. Federico Peters leads Muiz Mushafa from Hadrian David. Fred's managed to make a fantastic lead for himself of almost 3 seconds, but that's all going to go away now. As you can see, him already filing in behind the safety car, which is just outside, just going through turn 3 at the moment. We can see the yellow flags being waved there from the marshals on the right-hand side of your screen. As we come down through the first sector of this, which would be the third lap at the moment, with a lot of action already going on, and we can't wait to see what else is going to happen. But let's have a quick replay of the start of the race as the safety car is deployed. Here we go. Luke Thompson tries to come up the inside of Mohammed Ibrahim, gets stuck in behind number 57. That's Frederick Peters. They're all lining up, trying to get the slipstream. Muiz Mushafa looking for an angle, trying to go around Yuma as Shihab Al-Habsi tries to go all the way around Luke Thompson. This may be where he collides with Luke. There you go. That's the little bit of a touch there onto the right front. The left front end plate. And there we go. Spin there. What car is that? Is that number 58? Oh, no, it's 34. That's 34. Shihab Al-Habsi spun out at turn 2. Looks like there was a little bit of a collision between himself and several other drivers. Thankfully, nobody hurt, and he managed to continue racing. And here we go now, down through turn 3. There we go. He got going, no problems at all. You can see on screen now, though, this is the blue car, number 33 of Mohammed Ibrahim. He's really beached in the worst possible position he could be. Let's have a replay of that action between Luca Allen and Shihab Al-Habsi now. Between Luca Allen and Mohammed Ibrahim now. Here we go, turn 5. Luca on the right-hand side of your screen, so the blue number 3 going to come into contact with the left-hand side pod, maybe the left tire of Mohammed Ibrahim. Just gives him a little bit of a touch. He just just loses a little bit of control, touches into the Indian driver, and looked like Yuma had to take avoiding action through the grass to make sure nothing happened. Thankfully, nobody seems to be hurt, just the car beached in a very dangerous position, so of course the safety car has been deployed until they can recover that vehicle and we can go racing once again. But effectively that means the lead between Frederico Peters, Maurice Mustafa and Hadrian David is going to be diminished to almost nothing, and that's terrible news for Frederick because he had already built up a 3-second lead for himself, but Maurice Mustafa now is going to be perfectly positioned to do something fantastic for Malaysia, and he may be able to make it happen down into turn 1, but he's got to watch out for Hadrian David just behind him, and of course Luke Allen and Josh Smith now make out the top 5, and that's going to be a lot of weight on the young Portuguese drivers' head as we come around turn 15 now. Safety car lights are still on, which means we're going to have at least another lap on the safety car. 10 minutes left to go. Let's say 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes per lap. So that's at least another 3 minutes. That gives us 7 minutes left. Presumably, if the safety car comes in on this coming lap, which would mean 7 divided by 2 is about three laps to go. So Fred could do it. He could well do it if the safety car comes in. Actually, at this point now, Fred is hoping the safety car stays out as long as possible. The best case scenario for Fred is the safety car stays out until the end of the race, and he doesn't have to worry about the drivers behind him because there's a lot of seriously experienced people making up the top 5, the top 6, no, the top 7 cars on the road. Look at that. There's Maurice Mustafa, Hadrian David, Luke Allen, Josh Smith, Elias Bannon, Luke Thompson, and then you can't forget about Shihab Al-Habs, who of course is further down the grid, but it's now bunched back up with Sneha and Yuma, who's going to be jumping in, trying to get into the top 5, I'm sure, because of course he's competing for the championship as well. As we come around turn 3 now, still on the safety car, I wonder what's going through Frederico Peters' mind. Of course, after the safety car comes in, we'll know if the safety car is coming in because the lights will extinguish around turn 12, or maybe even before that, maybe turn 9. But I wonder what Frederico's going to do, because effectively once the safety car comes in, he becomes sort of a virtual safety car until they cross the start-finish line. Until they cross the start-finish line, at which point then they return racing. But until they do so, Frederick he controls the pace, and you can see the blue car there of Mohammed Ibrahim being recovered. So that's indicative that we will be going racing. It looked to me like we're going to be. Okay, just a message in my ear there from race control. We're going to go green at the end of this lap. All right. So coming around turn 8 now. Safety car lights will extinguish very soon, I'm sure, as we come down with the whole possession now held up behind Frederico Peters, who's going to determine exactly what happens in the remainder of this race. But he's done beautifully so far, so I hope he manages to hold on to that position, because he surely deserves it. Just coming around turn 9 now, still in the safety car, the light's still on. That may mean that we're going to go for one more lap, but it may just mean the safety car lights are going to go out later than I expected. That might be them out now, because I can't quite see them. I can't see them on anymore. Are they still displaying? Yeah, they're still on. Now they're off. Now they're off. Now they're off. So that means the safety car is coming in this lap. You can see the drivers already anticipating the exit of the vehicle, and that's been holding them up. Hopefully the safety car can speed up a little bit and get out of the way, because we're coming around turn 13 now. That means there's just 2 corners left that Fred has to decide what he's going to do at the start of the race. It's going to be a very interesting start of the race here. I'm sure this is his first time starting under safety car, but he's the man controlling the pack until they cross the start-finish line. We'll see what happens in just a few moments, but Fred's got to hold him off for maybe 3 laps at the most. He could do it. It's possible. He can definitely do it. He just needs to drive. Just needs to not look in his mirrors, not worry about it, not get stressed out, and just drive to the utmost of his ability and hope for the best. And we wish him well as we go around. You can just about hear that they've already stepped on the gas. Maurice Mustafa right up behind Fred. Seems like Maurice got a very good exit to the corner. Of course, he's got the slipstream control. He's going to come alongside the Portuguese driver. He's already side by side, and Hadrian David's going to dive up the inside at turn 1, I'm sure. As Maurice Mustafa going to go all the way around the outside. Actually, Hadrian's going to try and follow them around the outside as well. No, he's just going to have a look at Maurice Mustafa. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, Frederick has outbraked himself, and looks like Maurice now up into first position. Second position is Hadrian David, and then Luke Allen just behind Frederico Peters, who's now in third position. Come on, Fred, you can do it. Keep the Irishman behind you coming through turn 3. Looks like Josh taking a tight line to try and get a little bit of a better line coming down into turn 4. Maybe make a move on Elias Sapanin. Close the door there, as Luke Allen still held up behind Frederico Peters, who's managing to keep the Irishman behind him. Fantastic driving from the rookie, who's it's only his second time in the car, first time in this car, second time in any type of F4 cars. we come around turn 6 now with Muiz Mustafa leading the race from Malaysia. Fantastic driving from Muiz. Muiz started 7th on the grid, and now he's up into P1 with Hadrian David just behind him, and he's got to hold off the Frenchman for another 2 laps, another maybe 3 laps at the absolute most. Come on, Muiz, you can do it. We all believe in you as you come down now on the straight down into turn 9. This is an overtaking position. This is a good corner for overtaking, but Hadrian David too far back to do anything about it. Let's have a look at the sector times. It's 30.413 in the first sector for, excuse me, that's Frederico Peters. It's 29.435 and 29.362 respectively for Muiz Mustafa and Hadrian David in the first sector. In the second sector, 29.747 and 29.888. So they are very, very closely matched as they come down into the final sector of the race, of the lap now. Turn 13 at the moment, breaking into turn 14 just as we speak, with Frederick Capita still holding off the blue number 3 of Luke Allen, and Luca's got to be suffering now because he's got to worry about Fred just in front of him, but more importantly he's got to worry about Elias Lepanen and Josh Smith just behind him, the tag team of the 2 red cars in his rear view mirrors. That's got to be a huge amount of stress he's under, because Yuma Shoji as well trying to make a move on the right hand side of the track. Going around the yellow car, number 42 of Luke Thompson, as we come through turn 15. Once again here at the Sepang International Circuit for race 26 of the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled by Petron. Coming across the start-finish line, let's have a look at the lap times. 2:15.219 for Muiz, 2:15.183 for Hadrian David. Muiz faster in the third sector. Muiz faster in the third sector, Hadrian faster in the fourth sector, but oh no, ladies and gentlemen, coming through turn 1, Hadrian David has made a move up the inside of Muiz Mustafa, and that's Malaysia now into second position, while France goes up into first position. But looks like something's happening side by side with maybe Frederico Peters, and one of the red cars might be Elias Lepanen or Shihab Al-Habsi coming through turn 3. What's happening here? Oh, there's been a collision. Fred's front right main plane is bent up at a unfortunate angle, and he's down into what would be 6th position with both Elias and Josh in front of him. So that's Luca now in 3rd, and Elias in 4th, and Josh in 5th, and Frederico Peters down in 6th now. Unfortunate news for Portugal, because he had driven a brilliant start to the race, was up into 1st position, had a 3-second lead, then the safety car came out and ruined his day as Luke Allen goes very, very wide on the outside of race of lap 7. We've got about 2 laps left to go now as we come down into turn 9. Hadrian David there in the red number 26 in front of the pack. Just behind him, the pink number 13 of Muiz Mustafa. Muiz now doing a 29.596, so he's fastest in the second sector. Actually by almost a 10th, so that's good news for Malaysia as we come around turn 11 now. Come on, Muiz, find a way past the Frenchman. Don't let him have it. Not again here at in the home of Malaysian motorsport. We have to have a Malaysian up on the top step of the podium as Elias Lepanen right up behind Luke Allen. Is he going to try at turn 11? Turn 12. He's going to try and move at turn 12. No, not quite. Decides against it. But that would have been absolutely fantastic to see. He may have just gone for it if Josh Smith wasn't just behind him, ready to pounce on any mistake as we come around turn 14 now, where the 3 people in the prime competition for the championship standings. But what I want to see is what's happening at the front of the grid with Muiz Mustafa and Hadrian David in the third sector. Muiz doing a 39.256 and Hadrian doing a 38.998. So Hadrian finding a little bit of time there in that sector as Elias Lepanen tries to make a move, and Josh Smith looks to go around all the way around the outside, but isn't quite close enough to make it happen. Maybe he's going to switch back and go and try and get a better straight line speed down the main straight. As fantastic to see. Let's have a look at the lap times. We've got Hadrian David now doing a 2:14.728. He found that time in the second to last sector of the lap. So there's a lot of space for Muiz to try and catch up to him. The gap between the 2 drivers 0.5 of a second, while Elias and Josh now switch position into turn 1. Luke Allen still in 3rd, but now Josh Smith into 4th and Elias Lepanen down into 5th. Terrible news for Finland, but good news for Australia, and perhaps good news for Ireland as well, because the 2 drivers behind Luke Allen are now fighting for position, and Luca may have a chance to try and build a little bit of a gap between himself and his his teammates and his competition as we come through turn 4 now. And I get a message on screen about the incident between turn 5 between Luke Allen and Mohamed Ibrahim is under investigation as we come through turn 5. Speak of the devil once again, with Luke Allen at the in 3rd position, leading Josh Smith and Elias Lepanen, the 2 red cars behind him. Number 5 Josh Smith, number 58 Elias Lepanen down turn 6. Now this is an overtaking corner, but with these drivers so closely matched, I'm not sure anybody close enough to make a move. Perhaps into turn 9, which is a hard braking sector. Let's have a look at the lap times. Muiz going fastest man on track at the moment in sector 2, so he's trying to catch up to Hadrian David, which is fantastic news. they're actually Mui's faster in the first sector, faster in the second sector, and he's closing that gap. He's only 0.5 of a second behind the man in front of him, and he's definitely closing that gap. We'll have to have a look at Sector 3 and see what's happening there. And hopefully, hopefully we'll see another maneuver between Muiz Mustafa and Hadrian David, because it's been a fantastic race to watch so far, and I want more action as Hadrian, as it looks like Shihab Al-Absi found his way past the damaged car number 57 belonging to Federico Peters. He's at a big disadvantage. Fred is now. He's lost a lot of aero downforce, and coming through corners like turn 11 and turn 12, that's going to hurt him a lot. It's going to make it a lot more difficult. Behind him, we've got an orange number 7 car, and that's Yuma Shoji. So now Fred has got to contend with the man behind him as well, the orange number 7 of Yuma Shoji. As we come around turn 14 now, looks like Muiz lost a lot of time in sector 3. I'm not sure what happened there. May have made a move and may have gone wrong for him, as Elias Bandit tries to go up the inside of Josh Smith. Looks like he might well secure it. He's side by side with Josh, but Josh has nowhere to go. He's boxed in by Elias and Luke Allen, but he got a better exit and managed to maintain that position. We've got the last lap board being displayed now, so this is the last chance for Muiz Mustafa to try and find a way past the man in front of him. Hadrian David, 0.6 of a second separate the two at the moment. Muiz doing a 2:14.975 last lap, and Hadrian David doing a 2:14.885 as Elias Bandit still trying to find a way past Josh Smith and get back up into 4th position. I'm sure he desperately wants to do that as we come across the Malaysian flag with Luke Allen in the blue number 3 card on the right hand side of your screens, and this is what we want to see, the battle for first position. The battle for first position is what we should focus on, because we've got Hadrian David, a fantastic driver coming in from France, and Malaysia's Muiz Mustafa, really a top class driver as well. Second winner up last year, not had the best year this time around, but he's coming back to form, and you can see that as well because he's challenging for first position now. Let's have a look at the sector times. Hadrian doing a 2:29.014, Muiz doing a 29.072, but Muiz finds 0.2 of a second in the second sector of the lap. So let's focus back onto the race leaders. Here they are, the red number 26 car, and just behind him the pink number 13 car of Hadrian David and Muiz Mustafa coming through turn 9. Not close enough to make a move, but Muiz knows this track like the back of his hand. He's going to hold on until turn 15. I bet that's exactly what he's planning, although the gap seems to have widened now between the two cars. Muiz had gone fastest in sector 2 by almost 0.2 of a second, which would have put him within 3, maybe 0.4 of a second between the man in front of him. So that would have been just exactly where he wanted to be to make a move at turn 15. Let's have a look at the sector 3 times. Muiz doing a 39.038, Hadrian doing a 38.986. So they're not separated by more than 0.5 of a second as they come down the back straight into the final sector of the lap. This is the last chance for Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen. Can Muiz make a move coming down into turn 15? Can he do it? Can the pink number 13 car find a way to get past Hadrian David? No, not quite. Hadrian just driving too cleanly coming through that sector of the track, and Muiz not managed to find a way past him. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Malaysian up into second position here in the 26th race of the F4 Southeast Asia Championship, fueled by Petron.
Yes, very happy with today's race. Started from P11 and managed to win. Muiz was very fast. I managed to overtake him in T1, and he just stayed in my back until the last lap. So yeah, it's been a very tough race, and looking forward to race 3 tomorrow. He will be starting just in my front, so yeah, let's try to make another great race.
Well, yeah, Adrian was fast and quick in this track. Because of my tire temperature is a bit too hot, so I had no grip in the rear. If still there's lap, but I'll keep pushing.
Off the start, I had to dodge, I think, 2 incidents in 2 corners, so it was a crazy start. I'm happy I made it through. And then after that, I just started kind of picking off people one by one, and then eventually got up into 3rd with Elias and Josh, like really hot on my heels, and luckily I managed to defend them, and they started battling on the last lap and gave me a bit of a break. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the result.
Yeah, the race was good. I started pole. It was good. I had a good start. I was ahead for a couple of corners until they started to get me. But I was able to maintain with the pack. My lap time was okay, and I got a lot of fighting experience wheel to wheel, so it feels good. Looking forward to the next race.
Really, ladies and gentlemen, with that we've reached the end of the race. So for me, Aaron Thompson, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.